Third and final leg of horse racing's Triple Crown will be run this Saturday. And the horse that won the Preakness, Curlin, is the favorite for the Belmont Stakes. But did you ever wonder what happens to these athletes when they retire? Richard Schlesinger did.
Mr. Mrs. Jerry Moss's Ruhlman.
Odds are most racing fans have forgotten about Ruhlman.
But it's Ruhlman holding on to it.
Even though in 1990 more than 50,000 people saw him win $1 million at Santa Anita.
It's going to be Ruhlman.
He's past his prime now, but having the time of his life, retired in Kentucky at age 22.
We have an understanding, but it took me a long time to get the understanding. And
what's the understanding?
Well, the understanding is that he's the boss.
Michael Blowen runs this retirement home for thoroughbreds called Old Friends. And what a collection of friends he has. Swan's Way raced 81 times when he was younger.
He's the only one I can beat.
At 17, he's slowed down a little.
When I wake up in the morning, I see these wonderful, great champions in my yard. I think it's like having Larry Bird and Michael Jordan here.
Blowen used to be a movie reviewer in Boston, but he owned a few horses and learned a lot about the business, especially the dark side. He saw horses who were too old or too injured to race or to breed sent off to slaughterhouses.
Here comes Ferdinand on the rail.
It even happened to Ferdinand, who won the 1986 Kentucky Derby and ended up being killed 16 years later when he stopped making money for his owners.
Ferdinand under Bill Shoemaker wins the Derby by 2.
Everyone that was ever around this horse said this was the kindest, nicest, sweetest horse that anybody was ever around, and that's what happened to him.
When Blowen heard about Ferdinand, he decided he had to rescue as many other horses as possible.
These may be some of the luckiest horses in the thoroughbred world. Blowen can only take care of about 30 of them with his group, and there are only about 20 organizations like his in the country, which isn't a lot considering that in 1 year, more than 36,000 thoroughbreds were born.
Old Friends relies mostly on donations to rescue and maintain the horses. Some owners pay the roughly $2,300 per year for their horses' retirement, but just a handful. Too many of them sell their horses to slaughterhouses for up to $1,000.
If you can't look at this animal and see something spectacular, if you're just looking at this horse as an economic commodity, then they should be racing cars and not horses. Thanks for coming.
These horses still attract a crowd, even though their money-making days are behind them.
He's one of the greatest horses that ever lived.
Busloads of people come to Old Friends to see them.
This is Flying Pigeon.
Admire them.
Aren't they beautiful?
And learn from Michael Blowen that horses like Sunshine Forever,
you want a carrot?
Once worth $20 million and then almost slaughtered, still have great value, even though they're not worth much money.
Sunshine, are you the greatest horse who ever lived?
Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And if you'd like more information about caring for retired champions, you can go to cbsnews.com. And that's the CBS Evening News. I'm Katie Couric. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.